Well, hello, this is Rosa, our City Creations. How you doing? We're bringing to you a quickie little video on how to dry pack potatoes. I'm also going to show you the ones I did on wet pack with water. We'll be right there. Let me just put the camera down. Sorry for the bang up. Okay. You can use pint or quart, whatever you want to use. Since it's just me and hubby, the pints work the best. I personally prefer the wide mouth. See the difference between the wide mouth and the small? But I'm totally out of my wide mouth jars. This is the wet version where you just pack the diced potatoes, add water to the 1-inch head space, which is this bottom rim right down here. Now, the dry pack method is a little bit different. You do everything the same. You really scrub really well. We personally like peeled potatoes, but you can leave the peels on. Just make sure you scrub it really well, and then you remove as much starch as possible. We remove the starch. It's me mostly. My hubby helps me though. Is you put them in a pot. I have in my big pot right here because I did 20 pounds of potatoes. Okay, and peel them like normal. Brush them, the skins, however you want to do it. Soak them. Once you've cut them all up, put them in your container. Let them soak for 20 minutes. Dump all the water out. Add more water back in your container. Set your timer for another 20 minutes. Cold water, as best as possible. Okay, 20 minutes later, do it again. You want to do that 3 times. So, soak them in water, 20 minutes. Repeat, do it 3 times. Once that's totally done, go ahead and pour your potatoes into your jars. You can use pint jars, you can use quart, whatever you want to do. It's totally up to you. And the water ones have to be debubbled. The dry pack ones don't have to be debubbled. And debubbling basically means, I have my little debubbler right here. This is just one that came with my canning kit. You stick it in there and then you swish it around and swirl it around. You get all the little air bubble pockets out of there, is what you're doing. Okay. Add 1/4 piece of, I use stick butter. And I just cut 1/4. And see that? There's a 1/4. Okay? And just stick one in each jar. Okay? Then you're going to get some vinegar water. You're going to wipe the top of the rims in case any butter got on here, because that'll prevent the seal from working. And then you're going to get your lid. And I'm being my little bit OCD kicking in. My bottle says curve. My lid is ball. I don't pick and choose. I just whatever I get is whatever I get. And my fingertip tight is for me is my middle finger and my thumb. And whenever I can't tighten anymore, this is as far as I go. Okay. And we're going to process these in a pressure canner. Let me find my beginning label. Now, some of these jars were gifts to me, and they don't have any label on the front. So I don't know where these jars come, but I've been using them for over 6 years, and they're working just fine. This one just has a plain jar, there's no writing on it, so I don't know who makes it. I'm a rebel canner. I reuse my lids. I put a little tick mark on it. This was a gift, so I don't know. I know it's been used once, so when this comes out of canner, I'll put a little tick mark on it with a little Sharpie, and I'm gonna put on there two little tick marks because I know I used it. I know this was used before because you can tell. And then I'll do for today's batch another tick so that I'll have tick marks on there. So far, I've been working out 5 to 7. I'm reusing the same lid. Seems to be working okay. See that? The little tick marks right there. The 3 right there on top. This has been used 3 times. Here's okay. No, that one's got that's a Kerr jar. So Kerr are older jars. I think they're still around, but I really don't know. Okay, and all I'm doing, my lids are clean. There's the ball. There's another one. It's got 3 little tick marks on it. See that? And that's it. And you're going to process these. This is my notes from 8 years ago when I started doing this. If you pressure can quarts, you do 40 minutes. Pints are 35. The pints on the wet method is 35, so this is going to be 2 different batches because the time frame has to be the same. Oh no, you know it is 35. Pints is 35, so they're the same. So I can put these in the same canner at the same processing time. Anytime you're doing, you could be doing like ground beef or a pot roast of potatoes and vegetables, and then potatoes. Okay, but as long as the processing time is exactly the same, you can process in the same canner. So this way you can do double duty, save yourself a lot of time and usage of having your gas or electric, whatever it is, or propane, whatever it is you're using for the heat source for your canner. So both of these are going to be canned at the exact same time, so I can put all these in one canner, but I don't think they're all going to fit in one canner, but we'll have to wait and see what happens. If there's not enough to fit them all canner, I'll just do one batch of the wet potatoes. Once they're totally done, then I'll do this batch of the dry potatoes. Now, the reason I do wet in both. Number one, hubby really enjoys the wet potatoes. We both love home fries for breakfast, because these are dry packed with just a slab of butter. If you wanted to, you could add a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, a little seasoning. I choose not to do that because I don't ever know what I'm going to be using my potato for. So I'd rather season as I'm cooking with it, okay? Then I just open up the jar, dump the whole thing in a skillet, cast iron, Teflon coated, whatever skillet you have, it doesn't make a bit of difference. And I like these big chunks, okay? But sometimes I want the smaller chunks. So I'll just take the whole jar and I'll slice them and dice them, whatever it is that I want to make, okay? Because sometimes I like the little tiny bite-sized ones. Those I usually freeze. And sometimes I just want this to go with a breakfast meal. Usually it's like scrambled eggs, over easy eggs, bacon, sausage, and the potato. And sometimes it's just egg and potato. That's it, nothing else. I'll just pour this in a pan, my skillet, season it, saute it, because this is already cooked. Once it's pressure canned, it's already cooked. And then I put my eggs in there, however I'm going to do my eggs. And then there we go, and breakfast is done. And the fact that you already did this in a process method, because the food is already cooked when you process it. So technically, once this is processed, I can open up the lid and eat out of the jar. It doesn't make a big difference. It won't taste as good because it's not heated up, but I can do that. That's the whole thing of processing. Not only that, but by me doing this, I saved myself 35 minutes in the morning making breakfast because this is already pre-cooked potato. So it's a time saver. It's a shelf space saver because it sits on your shelf, and because these dry cans can last up to 3 years. They're recommended. It's recommended. Now this is Rebel canning, yes, but it's almost everyone that I've been reading says they stay on their shelf about 3 years, but you want to use it up before that because it is not a true and tested method from the FDA. And if you're not a Rebel canner, don't do this. If you are, you don't mind trying the experiment, do it. We've been doing this going on, I say 9-10 years, and we're still here. We're not dead and stuff, but this is just another way of doing potatoes, wet method or the dry can method. Thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you in the next video. Take care now. Bye-bye.